chorus 1 starts like this. George, just a side note really quick. As I researched George, I think primarily he used his 3 fingers more than the pinky. I have a tendency to use my pinky because that's just how I learned, try to play with majority, like all 4 fingers. But George plays a lot with just the 3. So anyway, here we go. I'll try to attempt to finger it like George would, but there's different fingering, so you have to kind of find which one works best for you. But anyway, so we'll start off with the first chorus. That's just a chromatic. Diminished. Then the run starts off. Bend right here. Just real side note, keep in mind that George kind of cut his teeth in the organ trio, so him and Jack McDuff, like, he would mimic a lot of the things that the organist would do. Also, if you know, he went on to play with Jimmy Smith and a lot of other organ trios. So a lot of the riffs that you hear on guitar actually, in my opinion, kind of came from the organ, where him and Jack McDuff would maybe have been trading, you know, forwards, and he copped a lot of Jack's licks. So this run right here, that's very much like an organ riff. This right here is an organ, how the organ may rattle, you know. Then that goes on to the second chorus. So that's the first. Okay, here's the second chorus. Starts with a double stop on the 14th fret. So this riff right here, it happens all throughout the song. This was one of the recurring riffs throughout in various places throughout the song. It starts here. He does it on the G, does it on the C. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know, you can finger it 2 different kind of ways. George, I'm assuming that he may have fingered it like this, using this finger on both of them. On the slide, I used to go between the pinky and that fingering. It feels more natural for me that way because I used all 4 fingers pretty religiously, whereas I think in this time period especially, George pretty much used the 3 fingers, and a lot of players use 3 fingers over using all 4, but that's just a personal preference. However you grew up playing, or however you learned the guitar, whichever fingering is easiest for you. But anyway, so start again on the second chorus. Straight blues, then he jumps up to the blues minor, or the blues scale. Then he does these crazy hammer-on pull-offs. Sweet. So as you can see, it's a lot going on in this song, right? It's crazy, but these I really dig. That's George Benson. He uses that even today a lot. But what he's doing is he's pulling off of this one, and then he's landing on that. He's moving down, minor third. So this little riff kind of moves in more of a diminished I guess it acts like a diminished run. Dig. There's that run again. And then he goes to, then this tail end of this chorus. And I fingered it like this because it's easiest for me, but you may find another fingering, but that makes any sense. One more time. Then it goes. That's how that second chorus ends. Here he goes. He's just rattling the pick right here. He's just doing straight blues. Real quick, real. Then he plays this. So it's kind of a sweep. He's sweeping throughout this entire solo. So if it's too difficult, the sweeps you have to practice slow until you can play them quickly. But then he goes sweep here. Then he jumps up. Then he plays this. Then it goes. I jump up here, and I'm pretty sure that's what he did. At least that's what it sounds like. So after this run, there's that run again, like I said. It's a lot. That is a lot. So just, I guess, slow it down, take your time, and try to listen. Hopefully this kind of helps you. But it's a lot of sweeps. This sweep right here. So he jumped. And like I said, the sweeps are easier. They're sometimes easier to play faster, but you still got to understand, I guess, or know which notes are within the sweep, right? So then he jumps up, kind of like harmonizing, like off of G major. Then he goes. Then it's up. He bends that note. Okay, the fourth chorus starts like this. He's rattling. Then he starts here. Just it's a regular G7 scale or G Mixolydian scale, or you can look at it as a C major scale starting on B, but he's just sliding from the G, similar to how an organ player would slide on the organ. As you know, George he cut his teeth in organ trios with Jack McDuff, so a lot of the lines and riffs that George played, especially around this time, when he cut this record, he was 21 years old. So a lot of the lines that he's playing are very reminiscent of how Jack might have played it, or what he was hearing off the organ. So starting G, slide up. I find it easier to finger it that way. Instead of playing this, I find it easier to make the jump. Then he does the same thing again. Sorry. Then he goes. That's how the song ends. So, as I said before, as you practice this, if this is really, this is one, in my opinion, was one of the more challenging Benson solos to transcribe, specifically for the timing, and then how he was fingering these riffs. Like I had to figure out my own method and way of fingering it based on how I play. And like I said earlier, I think George used 3 fingers a lot. He only used the pinky occasionally, and what I've seen and even studying some of his old videos live, it seems like he was kind of tucking the pinky. And a lot of artists, some artists even kind of tuck the pinky behind their, guitar neck, which I find is, it's just a different style of playing. I learned to play with all 4 fingers, utilizing the pinky also. But anyway, the other thing that I found challenging in this particular solo is the sweeps. George uses a lot of sweeps, and the deal with the sweeps is the right hand picking, trying to make sure that the right hand is operating in harmony, or in unison, I guess, with the left hand. So stuff like that. So I kind of made exercises out of working on the sweep picking, because George uses it all the time. Even in his playing today, sweep picking is very prevalent in his playing today. And these little double stops.